It's Wisdom Wednesday, coming back with another episode of the 31 Days of Sharing, another segment for you. Jerry Franklin Poe here live. This morning I was mentioning a book, Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. Now, if you didn't catch that one, let me recap. I went over what the seven habits were for those who had not read the book by Stephen Covey, The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. So I'll do a quick review. Habit number one was to be proactive. Habit two, begin with the end in mind. Habit three, put first things first. Habit number four is to think win-win. Habit five is to seek first to understand, then to be understood. Habit six, synergize, and habit number seven is sharpen the saw. And that's what I want to focus about, is that seventh habit. One, I believe that people tend to neglect: sharpening the saw. It doesn't matter how much energy you expend when you are cutting a board. If the saw that you're using, I used to use with my father in construction a handsaw sometimes when we had to make certain cuts. And it didn't matter how much energy, how much power, how much pressure I put when I was sawing that board. If the saw wasn't sharp, the process would just take a lot longer. The process would be a lot harder on me. So the first thing that we need to recognize about ourselves is that over time, we're going to need to focus on renewal, self-renewal, and self-care. That's right. Sharpening the saw is understanding that even though the tool is effective, when you use it over time, eventually the blade becomes dull and the blade becomes worn. And it doesn't matter how much more energy you put into something, it's not going to be as productive or as effective because the blade is not as sharp as it was when you first started using it. So we have to spend time sharpening the blade in order to get the level of productivity and the level of efficiency to go back to where it was, or to even increase. Which means we need to invest time in ourselves, in our own personal renewal, our own personal self-care. You think about how much time people spend taking care of their automobiles, right? They wash their car. They fill up the gas tank when it starts to get low. They change the oil every 3 months or every 3,000 miles. You rotate the tires so the tires wear out evenly. All these things are preventative maintenance in order to maintain the length of the car ownership, so the car won't break down, so the car will still be useful in our lives. But what about ourselves, especially those of us who are in leadership? How much time do we focus on taking care of ourselves as much as we focus on taking care of other people? When my dad would use a chainsaw, the first thing he'd always do is sharpen the blade. It didn't matter how powerful the chainsaw was. It didn't matter how much fuel the chainsaw had in it. If the blade wasn't sharp, it wasn't going to be as effective. So as we go into the new year, make a commitment to yourself to focus periodically throughout the year. It could be once a month, twice a month. It could be every quarter, to do something to renew yourself, to work on your renewal. Whether it be just taking time to relax and to build up or refresh your energy, whether it be taking time to pour in knowledge or invest in new learning, right? Sharpening the saw can be you continuing to grow and invest in your own personal education and enlightenment. It could be you just taking time to build your energy back up, right? See, those things are needed in order to keep up or maintain our effectiveness. And as we get worn down, as life starts to wear us down, right? Because that's what's going to happen in your life, your business life, your personal life. Sometimes we need to take the time to renew our minds, mental renewal, emotional renewal, spiritual renewal, as well as physical renewal, so we don't get worn down to the point where we just, collapse is not the word I'm looking for, but where you feel completely empty or worn out or have a breakdown. That's what I'm looking for, a breakdown. Sometimes we have a breakdown because we didn't take care of ourselves. Just like the car, when you don't change the oil, the engine will lock up, the engine will seize, your car will break down based off of lack of maintenance. So we need to work on that habit, the habit of self-renewal, which is sharpening the saw. taking time to renew ourselves, taking time to sharpen ourselves, taking time to build ourselves back up. As we are pouring into other people, we need to have stuff poured into us as well. So I challenge you as we end this year to take some time to work on your renewal. And I challenge you as you begin this new year to schedule time for self-care and schedule time for renewal. Because we know, based on what we experienced in 2020, that the year is unpredictable. Things may happen that we may not be prepared for, or we may not have foreseen. And our ability to care for ourselves will determine how effective we are dealing with these challenges when it comes to the mental and emotional states that we are in. So that is my last tip for today, Wisdom Wednesday, this segment of 31 Days of Sharing. You know what to do with the videos. Like the video, share the video, comment on the video. Let me know what you are going to be doing to work on yourself, to sharpen your saw. What is it that you do to take care, or for you focus on your self-care, your self-renewal? What do you read? What do you listen to? What do you do to find encouragement and inspiration?